Hughley Show. Now it's time for a little note from the GED section.
Mitch McConnell, the Senate Majority Leader, commented on reparations. This is a big deal right now. Everybody's talking about it. Matter of fact, today there was a meeting on the Senate, gathered a lot of people. He said that none of us that are currently living are responsible for slavery. Why should we pay for something we didn't do? Even if you didn't own slaves, if you're a white man of a certain age in America, you directly benefited from it. You probably were taught to speak or to ride a bike or how to cook by somebody who directly owned slaves. You benefit, you got a head start. The school you went to, University of Kentucky, you got to go to school without them accepting black people. You got a head start directly because of slavery. The Civil War ended in 1865, 100 years after the Civil War ended. I was born in 1965. I'm the first one of my mother's children to be born with the full rights of an American citizen. You, from your first breath, were an American citizen. You got all the rights due an American citizen from the very time you were born. If you purchase stolen goods knowing they're stolen, they're still stolen, and if you lose those goods or no longer have them, you still have to make restitution. You still have to pay for the stuff. Possession 9/10 of the law, you still receive stolen property that you knew was stolen. As far as I know, there's no statute of limitations on murder, which happened all the time. And they always talk about how they hate freeloaders. It is against the laws of finance to have profit without loss. You can't get all of them. Imagine how much money you would have if it was all profit. You didn't have to pay for gas. You didn't have to pay for living expenses. You didn't have to pay taxes. How much money would you have? That's in essence what America got from having slavery. And just because a bill doesn't come on time doesn't mean it ain't due. You run up an American Express bill, let it be late. Are they going to say, well, it happened a long time ago, we're going to let that go? That's not what happens. And they've done it before. This idea that it was so long ago we can't do it. In 1982, the federal government paid $25,000 to the family of Italians who were lynched in 1891. So you will pay lynched Italians 100 years later, but not people who were descendants of slaves. You won't do that. And none of those people who were lynched were there. And none of the people who wrote the checks to them actually perpetrated the crime. They were the descendants of those people. And you paid them. You paid Japanese internment camps. Each survivor got $25,000. Reagan did that. The Native Americans got $1.3 billion after World War II. The national debt is over $22 trillion. And we also rebuild countries that we ruined. We ruin those countries. We run up a tab to our national debt by fixing the countries that we've damaged. So there's a national debt clock you see right now. It says that every American family owes almost $1 million. Now, who's going to pay for that? $1 million. You know, actually, I was born paying for stuff that I never had, that I never was a recipient of. Social Security works that way. So you get to decide. Your argument is just because I didn't do it, I wasn't there, I shouldn't pay for it. This country got rich and received recompense by brutalizing people. And it's amazing. It's amazing that the very people right now will build monuments acknowledging slavery, Confederate statues acknowledging slavery, but they do not want to deal with the repercussions of it. If you don't have the money, that's fine. Do what we do. Put a little something on it. You don't have to give people 40 acres on you. I know that's impossible. You can send people to school. You can forgive debt. You can give no interest loan. There are a lot of things you could do to make things right. Not because you owe, but because it's the right thing to do. You said yesterday, why should I pay for sins I haven't committed? But you are the same people that go ask, what will Jesus do? Isn't that what the guy that you always wear those bands and espouse his name would do? He paid for sins he didn't commit. That's a little note from the GED section. Thank you for watching our show. Thank you to one and only Johnny Gill for joining us this weekend. I'm going to be at the San Jose Improv in San Jose.